I'm going to be talking to you about how I get things done. I had somebody actually ask me this the other day, that they would like to see a video about how I get everything done. And so I'm going to talk about that and just take you along as I accomplish several things in about a week's time in this video. So first, I'm working out. This is something that's super important to me. And it's one of the things that really is hard to get done, especially if you have kids. It's something that I've had to continue to fight to keep on the schedule. And speaking of fight, I'm doing a body combat workout. If anyone knows what that is, it's from Les Mills and I love it. And I believe I get interrupted multiple times in this video. So I'm going to be talking about how I get things done. And let me just say that I'm as normal as everyone else and I have the same amount of hours in the day. I can assure you that everything good and maybe not so good that happens to you probably happens to me as well. But I do think we can control our attitude towards life and how we're going to approach using our time. So I'm going to walk through a couple of tips that I have for getting things done as you see me doing them. And as you can see, my baby has joined me on this workout and my toddler is about to join me as well. And just because they wake up does not stop me from completing a couple of workouts a week. I've been a pretty big stickler about that. Okay, so my first tip for how to get things done is actually have faith. I'm not saying to make a list or make a time block for your day with a calendar and little colorful sticky pads. Not like that isn't totally fun and maybe even helpful, but my first tip would be to have faith. Find the part inside of you that is ignited and, sparkly. Imagine yourself getting everything done that day that you had planned. I was a gymnast for many years, and what we would do before gymnastics meets is imagine ourselves performing, sit down, close our eyes, and see, feel, taste what it's like to do something. And this visualization exercise affirms within you that you can and will do something. So to wake up and start your day with that belief is really, really helpful, I find. So what I'm doing here is I'm opening up a package of new thrifted vintage style home decor pieces. I haven't really invested a lot in our home. I'm very frugal with our spending, but decided to invest in a few pieces that would get us just a nice refresh of the house. And I think that feels really good to do occasionally. So you're gonna see some of these items here, and then I will start popping them in and out of our home and show you what I'm doing with them, and you'll see more in another video because I'm not finished yet. My next tip might contradict the first one, which is not to be glued to your list, schedule, or commitments. Now, when I was working in corporate accounting, this was one particularly hard for me because I was working for clients and other people. So if that's you, I feel you on this one. But now that I'm a full-time mom, my schedule changes at the drop of a pin. Most days are predictable, yes, but many days should go one way, but they just don't for X and Y and Z reasons. So I believe the phrase goes, expect the unexpected. If you go into your day expecting the unexpected, then the unexpected won't surprise you. And another thing I've learned is this goes both ways. Sometimes the day goes unexpectedly better or, unexpectedly more difficult happens as well. If we're not glued to our list, schedule, and commitments, then we have a lot more flexibility about how and when we get things done. For example, let's say you have a list of 3 things to accomplish that week. 1, plant a garden, 2, meal prep, and 3, paint a child's room. If you're planning on doing the garden on Monday, but then you wake up and it's pouring rain, you would say, okay, now I'm gonna move to another item on the list, and that doesn't require being outside. As opposed to saying, well, my garden day got rained out, so I've lost the day entirely. Instead, use that day to meal prep. So this is why it's helpful to have a list, yes, but not to be glued to it and expect the unexpected. Okay, back to the video now. We are doing some fun changes in the house like I was just talking about. One of them is we got a new rug, and this was a gift from my mom, and we're so thankful for it. It's very, very soft, and it's mostly white. It's beautiful. So we just put it in this room, and what you'll see in the next part of the video is I got a jute rug to go over the top of it. because I feel like the white rug is going to be hard to protect, even though I'm pretty good at getting stains out of rugs. Actually, if you want to know my secret, it's baking soda and vinegar and warm water and a lot of manpower. So I've gotten everything you can imagine out of white carpet from, you know, just everything. Our prior rug that was in this room had so many stains on it, but you never would know. However, it's several years old, so we were just really, really ready for a new rug situation in here. And so I wanted to get a jute rug to go over the top, and I'm super happy with how it turned out. My last and final tip for how I get things done, and this really is the one that I thought of right off the bat, is to just do them. It goes back to the phrase, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. If you feel overwhelmed often by projects or a growing to-do list, laundry on the floor, dirty dishes in the sink, you're not alone. I feel these things too. But the best way to make them go away is to make them go away. My dad always taught me a phrase that went like this. He'd say, the time will go by regardless. So if it's 5 o'clock and you've got a messy house, laundry, dishes, all of it, and you're feeling even like making a little bit of progress is not going to matter, then I encourage you to just think of this. It's 5 o'clock right now, and soon it will be 6 o'clock. No matter what I do, that time will go by at the same rate. So it can either be 6 o'clock and I can have a clean house, or 6 o'clock and I won't. That always encourages me to accomplish tasks even when I don't want to or don't know where to start. So the time will go by regardless of whether or not I'm productive or not. So I'd rather have something done by the end of the time.
You found him. How's he doing? Is he still alive? Yeah?
Now you are seeing us in the garden. This is one of those days that was sunny, and so we took advantage of it. And I've actually been trying to do this compost for a long time, but for various reasons it kept getting pushed out. I think that when you are a full-time mom, especially of little kids, you really have to be flexible with your schedule, because you might think that your day or week is going to go one way and it could totally change. And sometimes for the better, right? So, you really got to enjoy all the phases. But it's helpful for me at least to have a nice lineup of projects ready to go. So when I have free time or when this kid is not in their room at this time, or this kid is happily helping me, take advantage of opportunities that you have within your home. So if it's, quiet in one room, then you can get something done in that room, even if it's in 30 minutes. Having a list inside of your head or even on your phone, you can kind of do it on your phone. Just having a list ready to go of things that you need to get done is super motivating for me, at least, because that way when pockets of time open up or opportunities open up, I'm ready to go. So I'm not looking around the house like, well, what do I do now that I'm free, So you're seeing our backyard here. We really needed to just refresh the soil. It's been a few years since I've composted everything in the back here. And with the chickens back there and, just weather, everything is just very, very weathered. So I was really anxious and excited to get our compost bags out. And I got some topsoil and I got some compost and I just spread it everywhere. This is a huge lavender plant you're seeing right here, and it's really beautiful, but it is looking a little bit hungry. So I just went ahead and tried to give it some more food here. We also are planting in our little raised bed here, and I've realized when I looked at this shot that we need to take the cover off the couch. So that's our couch in the background, and you probably saw that last year, but our favorite thing to do in the summertime is sit out here and eat every meal that we can, even in the springtime and the fall too. Basically just not anytime when it's not absolutely freezing, we're out here. And so I try to create as many blooms, flowers, plants, vegetables, whatever we like to enjoy all around this little seating area, because we really spend all of our time here. We are planting snap peas in our garden, at least in this bed right here, this year, because I know my daughter just loves snap peas. It's so fun for the kids to pick snap peas. I think that's one of my favorite vegetables. So I hope to have a very large snap pea garden right here. I started these seeds indoors a little while ago, and we'll see how they do. Half of the seeds did not come up, but those were tomato seeds. So the tomatoes did not like that indoor planting situation. So I did something wrong there. But the snap peas are fine. And I find that snap peas are very easy to grow. I did them last year too. And they repopulate really well too, because the peas just drop into the soil and then you just have more snap peas. So I'm hoping this entire bed is snap peas. But I had to pull out a bunch of strawberries because we had strawberries here before and they really took over, but they weren't producing berries. So if they were producing berries, I would love to keep them because we love strawberries. So you'll see me pulling a little bit of strawberry out of here, and I'm a little worried that they still have roots and they might come up with the snap peas, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. I'm not a perfectionist when it comes to the garden, and I think that's another tip that I should include in how to get things done is don't be a perfectionist, because if you are, you will never get anything done. At least I won't. I know for sure. Done is better than perfect. Big fan of that phrase. Okay, and we're having lunch now, so just taking you along. I wanted to film like a day in the life, but the reality is every day looks so different that I could not figure out what to show you in one day that would be reflective of every day. So I'm just showing you basically a week's worth of stuff, and every day we just plug away little by little at projects. So every shot you're seeing here might be, 30 minutes here, whatever, 20 minutes there. And I'm just loving how our living room looks with the jute rug. And that's Winter, our cat, who is an outdoor cat, and she just must have been so happy about the rugs that she came on in. So another project I have going on right now is picture frames. We have a lot of picture frames. I thrifted a bunch of them. I bought some. I inherited some. So a combination of everything. And I just need to get them around the house. I have so many walls, and this is something I've been putting off because, like I talked about before, sometimes when you have a lot of work to do, you don't do any of it. So I'm just going to start chipping away at picture frames around here. I have photo paper that I use to print off pictures, and I'm going to go ahead and put them in some frames. I think my tripod is being played with by a toddler, so that's why it keeps moving. So I got a couple of pictures hung up, and I have several that are going to go in our bedroom, so I'll show you that soon. And I want to finish this video about homemaking and getting things done and my perspective on that with homemade bread, because that's what I'm doing. If I could think of what I do day in the life, that is what I'm really doing, is cooking. The other projects, they just get chipped away really slowly, day by day. And this loaf, I wanted to make a little flower pattern because it's springtime. And I was just feeling spring in the air. I just love having the windows open. I can hear the lawnmowers outside. I can hear birds. I can hear frogs. We have a lot of frogs. I can hear kids screaming, and I just love all that. So anyway, I'm just enjoying the day with the windows open and all the scents and feels of spring. And I love the sound of fresh, springy, bouncy, fluffy sourdough bread. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me in my homestead as I talk about how I get things done and show you a little bit of the projects I'm chipping away at. If you're brand new to my page, please hit that subscribe button. Every week I post videos on farm-to-table recipes and homemade natural living. Thank you so much for stopping by the Duvall Homestead.